An SMSF is a superannuation fund structure where you have fewer than 5 members in the fund. Okay, so you might have the Brendan Honeyford Self-Managed Superannuation Fund, where I might have 4 members in there. All members are trustees of the fund. What that means is each trustee has a responsibility to ensure that the governance and the compliance of that SMSF is within the rules that embody the self-managed superannuation fund structure, or the SIS legislation, so superannuation insurance industry legislation. Okay, so one of the key things is the trustee to understand the responsibility of actually having an SMSF. Okay, the other part is about what is the investment strategy. It's great you want to own your own superannuation structure, but in order to be compliant and get the discount around the taxation benefits, you need to ensure that you actually have a philosophy, investment philosophy or strategy, where you can articulate what are the investments you can and can't invest in as part of your, I suppose, your trust deed or your ongoing agenda, and what are the limitations. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of the SMSF is to support the retirement income of all its members and to act in the best interest of all the members, not just one or two. And that's probably a key determinant factor in understanding why a client would want to go into an SMSF and what is the purpose behind it. Okay? As opposed to going into a retail fund. Okay? As I mentioned earlier, the distinction around going to an SMSF is having greater control, having flexibility or choices, and potentially some cost benefits. Okay. But if you haven't got expertise in investing or in certain types of investments, then you either need to pass it on to an expert to provide advice, which might increase your costs, okay, or understand whether a retail fund may provide the same things you're looking for. Okay. If you don't have the time to spend researching the investments, looking at the different cost structures, and having the expertise in the different markets, then potentially a retail fund might be more suitable for you. Okay, so it's not an if and or, it really comes down to clients' goals and objectives. If a client is interested in looking to set up an SMSF, I suppose your first port of call would be to speak to your financial advisor around whether it's going to be beneficial or not. Okay, if after discussing the different pros and cons, it is something that is going to be beneficial for you, then your financial advisor will work in concert with your accountant to set up the structure that you require. Okay, because from a compliance point of view, your accountant can do the auditing and the setup of the trust structure that will enable you to set up your self-managed superannuation fund. Your advisor will work in concert with your accountant to ensure you've got a valid investment strategy so you can incorporate the different investment vehicles you need to fund your SMSF and look at the different investment options. Okay. From a cost point of view, is it easy? Yes, it is. These days it's fairly simple. So it's not about setting it up, it's really about what is the end game for you, okay, and where it's going to be beneficial for you. My view, it really comes down to whether property should make up part of your portfolio in SMSF. It really comes down to a client's objectives, what their current overall portfolio looks like, and whether property should form part of their mix, and really what are the key expertise that they will gain from it, or what benefits they will gain from it. Okay, property. Some of the considerations you need to understand is limited recourse borrowing. Okay, so if you're looking to fund or borrow to invest in a property in a self-managed superannuation fund, you need to understand some of the lending requirements and some of the servicing requirements also to fund that purchase and bring that property into that self-managed superannuation fund. So my key, I suppose, answer around is property beneficial in an SMSF really comes down to the client's drive or goal, comes down to what they've currently got in terms of balance, and does it formulate in terms of their overall portfolio they've got. Make sure there's a balance. One of the key questions a lot of clients ask me is around how much do I need to retire on, and will I have enough to live in retirement comfortably? I suppose that's a $1 million question in effect. So one of the key things I look at with my clients is understand their current lifestyle and what some of the goals they've got in retirement, which gives us a starting point to planning roughly about what they require, and then going back to see what they've currently got. So that gap analysis is critical about understanding what the client's future lifestyle goals are, and then what their current structure is, and where the gap we need to fill. A couple of other things we look at is their experience in different asset classes and experience in investing, because that comfort level enables me to understand what sort of exposure they can have to different asset class or investment types, such as shares, such as property, such as fixed interest and bonds, etc. Yeah. One of the key, I suppose, trends at the moment is an increase around SMSF. A lot of clients want to get in a self-managed superannuation fund. So I suppose the key thing there is understanding why they want to firstly get into an SMSF. Okay. Most clients, when we're speaking to them, don't understand the reasons why. So my first question to clients in terms of achieving that retirement gap is, what sort of investment experience have you got? If they do have an SMSF, why do they have the SMSF? What is it trying to achieve for them? Because the key thing where clients are looking to have an SMSF is to get more control, or they've got particular expertise that they can utilize as an investment vehicle, or they haven't got asset classes in the retail structure that they're happy with. So control, flexibility, also cost at times, but it really comes down to what your current balance is. So when one of the questions clients ask me is, do I have enough to set up an SMSF to buy property? Okay. So my response to that is, let's talk about the reasons why you want to start up an SMSF. Okay. Property is your investment vehicle. Fantastic. There's a lot of Australians' dreams to own property, to pay off their mortgage, or to have a retirement property. But the key purpose with the SMSF is that future income need. So although you might want to earn property, will that property fund your retirement? Will it achieve your goals? And is it part of your overall portfolio? Well, we talked about diversification previously. Doesn't meet with your requirements around your risk level and your risk comfort level.